That Don't Sound Right is a podcast about talking the way we did before the internet, when you could not prove anyone right or wrong.
All the expertise was contained in the people involved with the conversation. I'm Peter.
I'm Cecil, and I hope you enjoy our conversations. And as you listen, if you find yourself silently saying, that don't sound right, send us a comment. You're one of us.
Could you land a helicopter?
We're going down. We're going down
Yeah,
hard.
I think so. I don't think I can land a helicopter.
I could not.
Welcome back to another episode of That Don't Sound Right, a podcast about talking. We're your hosts. I'm Peter Bielman, who's out of breath, obviously.
And I'm Cecil Davis.
And we're just trying to have a conversation without Googling or fact-checking each other. Those things can so easily kill the conversation.
Your voice sounds a little more raw than it usually does.
A little raspy, a little lower. Yes, I've been away up in Virginia. We launched a brand new Volvo truck, and we had dealers and sales people coming up to see the new truck, and I was having to give a presentation on the safety features of the all-new V&L, and I had to do that 12 times over the last week.
What is the presentation run?
About an hour total.
So you spoke for 12 hours?
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
And that doesn't include the socialization and during dinner time over the loud music.
So now you got to do a podcast.
I'm pretty much out of words. But hey, good thing I don't have to make anything up today, right?
Well, I see in the studio here in Camel City Studios.
There it is.
The mailbag.
There's the mailbag.
By our loyal listener, Dave, U.S. mail, domestic U.S. mail, number 3, tear weight 0.7 pounds.
That's a heavy bag.
That's a heavy bag. Why would you have to? I guess if you're loading it on a plane, you would need to know what it was.
That's what I was wondering. Well, I mean, I guess if you have 100 or 200 bags of mail, that's 200 extra pounds that you probably need to.
That's probably it.
Well, not 200, the 150.
But would a 3/4 of a pound really matter? Why do you need to know the tear weight of the bag?
Well, because if you're loading up close to your maximum weight, and you need to, that's a good question, because you're just going to weigh the whole thing. You don't care how much. Why do you care about how much all the envelopes weigh without
the bag?
Without the bag.
I have no idea.
This might be a whole new episode.
It could be. We stumbled on
this whole thing. That don't sound right. Why do they even mess?
But tonight's episode, as evidenced by the mailbag, is our mailbag episode, and we have not had one since February 3rd.
Oh, well, it's due because we've had some good emails, and I think, have we had some texts on this? Maybe we've had some texts on the super secret text line.
We have had some texts, but I'll have to go back and see if I can pull them out.
Go back and check those out.
So all of you that have been writing in thinking that we have forgotten you, we have not.
We haven't forgotten.
We read every email, and then we wait till mailbag.
Now, if it's on the super secret text line, Cecil might not have told me about this, so it is forgotten. Well, shall we jump into it?
Yeah, let's go.
So one of the first ones I want to get to is from Brad, and this one might be an episode. I'm going to mention it on the air, and maybe some other people will chime in. We'll give the listeners a chance to respond and maybe make some guesses.
Right.
Now, remember, don't go Googling it or fact-checking. Just tell us what you think when you hear it.
Was this a picture?
This is a picture.
I saw this in the mailbag.
Right. So this was a picture, and it was a picture of a single square of Charmin toilet paper. A single square.
What was unique about it?
The edges were not straight. The edges were the perforations where the pieces would break apart. They were not a straight line.
Wavy.
They were a wavy line. And Brad asked the question, a valid question, why?
Why?
That don't look right.
It doesn't.
So I have some ideas. Maybe we'll let the listeners.
You have some ideas as to why?
Yeah, the why. I have some ideas as to why.
I can come up with a few, I think.
Well, we'll give you a week or so to think about it, and then we'll come back and let's record an episode.
Maybe it's a new innovation in toilet paper that we're not aware of.
Well, technology is moving at a rapid pace.
I mean, y'all came out with a new truck here. Maybe they came out with some new toilet paper technology.
I have no idea around here, Dave.
Yeah, you never know.
But let's go to the way back in the archives, and I'd like to read an email from someone Cecil. His name is Ricky.
Yeah, no, Ricky and I worked together. He's the one that gave me the idea about the pythons versus alligator.
That's right. I guess y'all had some serious debate over this. Is that right?
That's right.
Well, let me go ahead and read it.
Yeah, read the letter.
Here it is. He calls you Big C.
Well, yeah.
All right. And just listen to your podcast on python versus alligator, and I have a few comments. 1, there is a big difference between boas and pythons. Boas reach about 8 feet. Pythons reach up to 30 feet.
Really?
So there's a piece of information that I didn't know of.
That's a big difference.
And then most alligator hunters use rifles, not bang sticks, to kill the alligator. And he put in parentheses swamp people. So I'm guessing he's watched the History Channel's Swamp People to get this information. Yep. Also, it doesn't look like he fact checked us with Google or anything. It was his own research and development. That's fine. That's fine. And then 3, Terrible Ted would absolutely destroy any feral pig and have them for lunch if he had any teeth.
Terrible Ted.
Do you know who Terrible Ted is?
That's a bear. That's the bear that he wrestled.
So Ricky was the guy who wrestled the bear?
Ricky's the guy who wrestled the bear.
So that's Ricky. Oh my gracious. You know what? That goes back to episode 45.
Wrestling.
And that's the only episode I've missed out. I was sick.
Scott's
when we absolutely had to record. I was sick.
Yeah.
Listener number 1 stepped in.
Yep.
And it was the story of Ricky wrestling the bear in the triad.
Terrible Ted.
Terrible Ted.
If you don't believe it, Terrible Ted has a Wikipedia page about his career wrestling up and down the East Coast before the animal rights people put a stop to it in the 80s.
Well, let me, we need to go back to episode 122, Rock, Paper, Python.
Yes.
That's where we debated those 3 animals, the alligator, the python, and the feral pig.
Right. Who
wins? Now I got to ask you, Terrible Ted or feral pig?
It's always feral pig.
See?
Feral pig is the top of the chain for me.
Ricky disagrees. Hey, let's go on to the next one. Brad writes in, and Brad, this is going back to episode 127. Of course I can fly a plane. And this seems to be coming back and forth, but he actually had some experience also with a flight simulator.
Did you land it?
He actually got into a Black Hawk simulator.
Oh, wow.
Flying a helicopter is next level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even know. I can't even imagine what the controls are like to fly a helicopter.
So like if you asked me, could I get a helicopter to take off and or land? No, absolutely. I don't even know where to start with a helicopter.
Well, let's see, what's it say here? I had not seen the outside of the simulator before entering. I would tell you I was in a real helicopter. The visuals and gravitational pulls were authentic. Our military pilots log actual flight time and practice maneuvers in this thing. The instructor showed me the controls and then said, let's go. So the instructor got him off the ground, then gave him the control where he hovered a few feet off the ground, allowing him to get a feel for how things worked. Then the instructor told me to fly us to the local airport and back. I had no which way to go except up. He got us pointed in the right direction. I flew us over, turned around, and came back. I landed it with his aid. So I'm in no way saying this experience was easy, but he did break a sweat.
Wow.
So he was able to do it with
a helicopter.
With a helicopter.
My hat's off to you.
So here's the thing. You're in a helicopter doing a tour, let's say, of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And you're in the co-pilot seat.
Right.
And this really could happen because there's often you sit with the co-pilot. You sit in that right-hand seat. Pilot becomes incapacitated. Could you land a helicopter?
We're going down. We're going down far.
I think so. I don't think I can land a helicopter.
I could not. I could crash a helicopter.
Well, I mean, yeah, right. And you can crash a plane, but
I could. No, there's nothing in me I do not think I could land a helicopter.
Yeah, I don't even have a category for how to fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
I guess I just need to do a little research, and then maybe in a couple of weeks I'll come back to you and tell you I
don't even understand how a helicopter works.
Well, like,
why does a helicopter, it's like a bumblebee. Why is it even able to fly?
Well, helicopter pilots say helicopters don't fly. They just beat the air into submission.
I can believe that.
Brad also references Episode 128, learning curve. And that's where we talk about different things that have a pretty steep learning curve. You learn pretty quickly.
Right.
Or is that a shallow learning curve?
We called it a short learning
A
curve.
short learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically anything, Brad says, anything that when someone says, watch this,
Yeah.
or hold my beer,
It's going to have a short learning curve.
the learning curve is a little bit longer than you think.
I watched a guy, and something else that has a short learning curve is hydraulic power.
Yeah.
I was watching a guy work on a forklift, and he disconnected hydraulic lines without having the forks supported. And so everything that was holding up the hydraulic forks, or the forks, was the hydraulic pressure.
And it
And
just,
they came down pretty quick.
oh man.
Yeah.
And I imagine the hydraulic fluid went everywhere.
Went everywhere. Yeah.
Good
So-
times.
Yep. He learned a lot. The forks missed him, but
He obviously never worked on hydraulics.
I guess not.
So Bill writes in for episode 129, give me a sign. You remember this one?
Yep. This was about political signs.
And do they work?
Right. Or roadside signs in general.
Right.
Doesn't have to be political.
Well, Bill pointed out the most successful political campaign you can have
Yeah.
if you want to get anywhere is to start off as the commissioner of labor in North Carolina.
Really?
Do you know why?
No.
Because your name and face is
Oh,
posted
I
in
do.
every elevator in the state of North Carolina.
Right.
So if you go up against someone like Sherry Berry, who's in every, she can run,
Or she was.
she can do anything she wants,
Yeah.
essentially, because
Everybody knows her name.
ever knows. So if she goes to an obscure office and goes up to someone people really haven't heard of, she's going to win because everyone knows Sherry Berry.
You know, she's not the commissioner anymore.
I think I heard that. What is she
Yeah.
doing now?
Oh,
She mayor or something?
She's
Lieutenant governor?
There's somebody else there.
She can do anything she wants.
Right. Yeah, we all know her name.
But you only get one chance.
What was that?
Well, I mean, once you're no longer a commissioner at labor and you don't win that election, you don't got a chance because the next commissioner of labor is going to win.
That's right. Now, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, everybody knows her name.
So she essentially has free election signs all
All
the
across.
time.
That's true.
So Brad writes about episode 133, Wave of the Future.
Wave of the Future. What was the Wave of the Future about? I don't remember.
That's about you not owning a microwave.
Oh, that's right.
Do you still not have a microwave?
I don't have a microwave.
As a result of our podcast,
Mhm.
have you received any pressure to put a microwave?
There has been a little bit of pressure.
Really?
Yeah. And when we were on vacation, there was a microwave, and I popped some popcorn.
You
in-
did. You
for,
cheated? You cheated.
For a moment, I was like, oh, yeah. But I did see a guy make a very convincing argument this week for one-button microwaves that you would only be able to add time with. So when you press the button, it would start, and then all you could do was add time. All the other buttons on the microwave, I want to say superfluous. Yeah, superfluous.
Does this microwave not have that?
Popcorn button?
No. Just add time.
It does. But then he's saying that the only control, not on, off.
Well, here's the challenge.
Okay.
Then the challenge is that if you ever get a microwave,
Right.
which might be in the near future, as pressure is applied,
Yes.
try using the microwave with just the one button.
I've done it. But
That means you have to open the door while it's still running.
then it will just reset to zero.
Do you feel comfortable opening the door while it's still running?
Sure.
All right.
If it cuts off,
So that was the one thing that fried our microwave.
opening the door.
Mm-hmm.
But if you design it where it only works with one button, you could design it where it's not going to short out if you open it.
Well, I mean, it's designed they're designed not to short out, but they just wear out. They wear out quicker. There's 3 switches in the door.
Really?
There's 3, and I've replaced. And the reason I know this, I replaced all 3 of them 3 times.
So on and off switch.
Well, no, it's the switch in the door is to, it's the sense where that door is in 2 different positions.
Mm.
Because one switch verifies the door is closed.
Mm.
That's all it does. Another switch checks to see if the door gets opened. And then one of the switches is like a backup, a redundant switch to make sure that door stays closed.
Right.
It's very strange. And if any one of those switches goes out,
Doesn't work.
it doesn't work, and you have to replace. You might as well replace them all. But they short out as you're opening the door while it's running because it's putting electricity, so those contacts wear out.
Have you ever used any of the other buttons on your microwave, like defrost or anything like that?
I do. I have used defrost. I mean, on our microwave, you can just push a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and that automatically gives you how many minutes you do it.
Yeah. So
I appreciate that. I like that feature.
I think for the guy that just says you just need one button.
Probably. I mean, when you think about
one big button.
Yeah, that's right. Especially these industrial microwaves that they have.
The one that's in my kitchen.
Right. Well, yeah, you need a microwave. But Brad points out that you should not put eggs in a microwave.
Why?
Well, and still in the shell, it'll explode.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You can cook eggs in.
Brad says, as recent as this past Easter, I learned that even a peeled, hard-boiled egg in the microwave gives the same disastrous result. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I wouldn't have thought that.
I wouldn't either.
It does.
I guess it builds up inside the egg white.
Yeah. Boils up and kapow. And then, so also, it's not a goldfish warmer.
For goldfish crackers?
So a few years ago, I had to replace our microwave after Brad's son put his bag of goldfish crackers in the microwave. Goldfish crackers are packaged in a foil-lined bag.
Yeah, they are.
As the sparks started flying, he got scared and ran to find me. When I got to the machine, it was completely dead with smoke coming from it. As I opened the door, a billow of black smoke filled the air, setting off all the smoke detectors. The heat that lay in the middle of the microwave was unrecognizable. And then his son said, I just wanted to warm up my goldfish.
I think that's a reasonable request.
I don't think so. I don't see any problems with that.
I wonder if he replaced his microwave.
Oh, I bet you he did. I did, because he puts his dog food in there to warm it up.
Huh.
The family dog, Mickey, comes running every time he hears the microwave run or the door open. I sometimes dress up his meals with a topper that's kept in the refrigerator. I warm it in the microwave.
That's not. He's a good dog owner.
He is a good dog owner.
I would probably be not. Well, I might do that.
Brad has this old microwave that he used to keep in an outbuilding. The interior light was burned out. I only used it to warm up dog food when it was cold outside. So he had, some of us have extra, like an extra refrigerator in the basement. Yep. Because you got a new one, you kept the old one. So Brad does that. He has the microwave. He warms up the dog food in there. So
that's a good idea.
Maybe your household microwave is not the best place to warm up dog food. But, I don't know. Maybe dog food doesn't smell as bad as I perceive that it does. Yeah. So Brad has this old microwave out back, he writes, and found a mouse in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that?
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. All right. So who else we got in the mailbag?
Oh, so Harry, he writes, and Harry goes back, and he just sent you a picture. Look at this picture, Cecil.
Ice is food.
So basically, it's a big bag of 7-pound bag of ice, and it's a logo from the National Packaged Ice Association. And it says, ice is food.
Ice is not.
So if ice is food, it is not superfluous. It is a necessity.
Even this summer at the beach, I found no use for ice.
That goes back to episode 111, End of the Ice Age. And I think there's some follow episodes to that because it was very controversial.
Yeah. And again, let me say.
You have some family members who still aren't talking to you, right?
So just want to remind everybody, I said that I didn't say that we didn't want ice. I just said that we don't need ice.
Need ice. Okay. All right. So your cousin writes, he's harking back to episode 136, string theory. Now, this was the episode where you posit, like ice, shoestrings are also not necessary.
Olivia actually gave us this.
That's right.
My daughter gave us this episode about tying shoes.
We found a lot of shoes that had fake laces.
Yeah. And also you got given a gift, right?
Yeah, I was given a set of elastic shoelaces. So once they were put on, they held them snug, but not snug enough where you couldn't just slip your foot out.
Did you try them?
I haven't tried them yet, no.
So what did Dave write?
I don't have the right shoe just yet.
Gotcha. What did Dave write about?
So David said he just listened to string theory, and as Caboosel, that's
me. Caboosel's me.
That's his nickname for you.
Right. I wanted to be Diesel.
It's only
Caboosel.
Yeah, but he's the only one who calls you that, right?
There's more.
You're clearly Big C to other people. So as you referenced, James Bond demonstrated in For Your Eyes Only that it's always good to have shoestrings along just in case you have to climb a rope to save the world whilst a henchman uses his pistol to knock out your pro. Other than that, He slips on boots for his job, speed laces on his running shoes, and flip-flops. The speed laces are adjustable, but could probably be replaced just as easily with an elastic top slip-on.
Yep.
However, we need to keep laces on shoes to keep small children busy and learning. Kids certainly don't need to be encouraged to be any lazier. No slip-ons until you're 18. Perhaps this could be the origin of a new saying or a new cultural slang.
What's that?
On 18th birthdays that people discuss 100 years from now.
That you get your
slip your shoes on and get a job. Slip your shoes on and go buy me some cigarettes. Slip your shoes on and go register for selective service.
There you go.
Slip your shoes on and get out of my house.
Yeah, you get a pair of slip-ons for your 18th birthday.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's like, we should not be doing any more anymore.
I spent a lot of time as a kid learning to tie my shoes. I think I referenced that we had a set of laces on the back of our chair in kindergarten that you could practice every day tying your shoes.
So going back to episode, now this wasn't a mailbag, but I have a coworker who's English. This goes back to episode 139, boondocking fly tipper.
Yeah.
And I asked him about fly tipping.
What did he say?
He had not heard it.
He had not heard of fly tipping?
He had not heard of fly tipping. However, the term tipping is the word for dumping over there.
Okay.
So if you go to the dump, you're going to the tip.
Okay. Well, I wonder where the fly part came.
I don't know where the fly. He wasn't sure. He wasn't sure where that came from. But tipping is definitely the same as dumping.
Well, this has been a good. We had a lot in the mailbag this time.
One thing I just also didn't mention is that Chris, he sent us our first fan art.
So Chris, we're going to make the assumption that you're a fan and that you did send in art that was really good.
It was good.
It's a logo for the show, but it has our likenesses on it.
Exactly.
That he drew. I thought it was great. So
yeah,
we're calling it.
Some people looked at it and said, "Yeah, that looks like us."
So we're calling it our first fan art. I'm going to try to get it on a t-shirt. I need to talk to him about it. Y'all have put us over the 20,000 downloads.
All right, 20,000.
20,000 downloads.
We're not even 3 years old.
Yep.
We're getting there, but we're not even 3 years old and hit 20,000.
20,000 downloads. So thank you for every single download, whether you're a person, a relative, or a bot.
Yes, thank you, Google search.
We appreciate all of you, whether you listen to it or just let it run with the volume turned down. Every download counts.
Somebody told 4 friends.
Yeah, somebody did. Good.
Maybe someone told 20,000 friends.
So we are now at 20,000 downloads. Congratulations.
What's next?
I got to look. We'll get a badge for this that we'll post on our social media.
All right.
But I've got to look. I don't know what the next, maybe 30,000. I don't know. So probably 50. I bet 50 is the next one. And then also, when you're listening to this, tomorrow is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
To all the fathers.
Happy Father's Day, Cecil.
Happy Father's Day to you, Peter. To all the fathers in the audience. Anyways, that don't sound right, but you have come to the end of That Don't Sound Right.
Hey, before we close, we want to thank everyone for listening. If this is your first time and enjoyed the conversation, would you consider hitting the subscribe button on the platform you listen with? Also, if you're a longtime listener, thanks for being part of the 20,000. Please give us a rating and leave us a review so others can easily find us and join the conversation.
All right, we're looking forward to our next 20,000 downloads.
Let's go. Let's see if we can do that in 2 years.
So some shows get 20,000 downloads in an episode.
Yeah.
That's not us.
That's not us.
All right. So That Don't Sound Right is a production of TDSR Podcast in conjunction with Camel City Studios. I'm your co-host and sound engineer, Cecil. Peter is your other host and does your web design. Really go see the website. It looks really good. Camille is our barista. Olivia filled in for us today, though. Emily's our graphic designer. Ella does our Instagram. Giorgio tests our merchandise. Brent is our international brand ambassador. And as always, listener number 1 is Scott. So until next week, keep talking.
And stay curious.